All right, folks, welcome back. Got another pixel edit video drawing time special here. I had previously worked on the detail up here for the first frame. I have spent a bit of time on this Jotaru Kujo. I might be spelling that or saying that wrong, I'm not sure. This anime themed body. So basically what I did was I took that same image that I'd worked on previously down here, and I've cleaned it up considerably. I've chopped the arms off. So I took the arms off of this image and I cut it down, basically making a little stump, that I can use for my body. If I pull off the base here, or the base layer of my art, and I'm looking at the template below, I can see that there's just the two legs and no arms on this one. So I've tried to do the same thing here. Unfortunately, the only thing that I'm going to have a challenge with is these the little detail on the one side here. We got the little, what's supposed to be a chain, and those little cufflinks, or what are those, clasps, buttons, whatever's going to keep his coat closed, I guess. They're kind of detailed, and because of that, I'm actually extending the body a little bit. So if there's a very large head used on this, like if the head comes all the way to the bottom of the head template, it will probably cut off some of this here. That's okay though. Some heads will work, some heads won't. We can do a custom, or somebody can do a custom at some point, um, and base it off of this graphic, especially with the new tester tool that they have. Very easy to kind of adjust and make sure that your graphics match up. Okay, so I also took these arms up here. We got these hands, got the little cufflinks on there. Again, there's the little buttons or whatever it is on the side here. If I pop these off, you can see that the hand template below. Basically, I've just covered those as far as possible with my color pattern, like the colors and the patterns that I'm working with in my graphic here. Okay, so I've also done the back view, which is just a basic simple cape. I took, again, that basic shape of, that newbie body is kind of a teardrop shape here, very similar to the one on this side here, where you can see the belt and the feet in the front, the one coming across the chest specifically, and on this side you can't because it's the back, which doesn't make perfect sense. You'd expect it to go along the back, but hey, whatever. So in this particular case, looks like my overlay is a little bit important there. There's kind of an obvious background, or like the version of this that was pulled over to this side, the version of the front rather, that was pulled over to the side to do the overlay. But I've done kind of the cape on the back of the character based on his reference. Okay, so the next part that I need to do basically is going to be to set up this frame here. This is the left facing view. This is the left facing view that I'm going to be working on. I have two color layers on this. Basically, I'm going to actually get rid of my palette. The underlay can go as well. I just need my body template. So I have the underlying kind of belly portion. So I've taken a little bit of the color here. I had kind of just like cut a piece of this and put it into this frame here, giving it a basic idea where his foot is, etc. And then I'm using the overlay, so I'm taking half of the cape. And this is, I mean, it's a case-by-case thing. Sometimes you can get away with this. In this particular situation, I know that my cape is going to be almost identical on the side. I'm going to keep the cape coming down. I'm also going to have the same colors in the detail for the feet, as well as the colors for the belly, like his chest, and the belt, which I want prominent. Okay, so the belt is kind of my main point here. That's really what I want to focus on first, so I want to get that right. I don't want him to be, excuse me, I don't want him to be overly fat. I actually want him to have a little bit of a chest action going on, but I definitely want the belt to be prominent. So what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to copy the belt and pull it back a little bit further so we can get a really good baseline for where we're going to have all of our components on the body here. And we'll probably never see this part because it's going to have the cape over top of it, but I am going to add it just because. I'm also going to pull this over so you can see where this guy's foot is, the newbie foot on the bottom here, or the base template character foot, if I'm being very professional about it. I'm going to pull the belt out even further than that, so I'm going to take out two more, I think, to the right. There we go, yeah, two more clips to the right. So I think that's pretty much going to be the the width of the character, I'm going to keep them all the way over as far as I can on that foot. And it's important to follow specifically the feet and the hands. In these templates, if you're not familiar with it, if you're a little bit uncomfortable like me, you will want to match where these hands are exactly, where the feet are exactly. Because if you don't do that, like if I'm going through these frames here, you can see that there's little tiny movements from this one to this one, right? From the top frame to the second frame in this particular window. You can see that there's a little tiny movement, and then that makes a huge difference in the animation. If you look overall. So this only has 3 walk frames, right? There's only 3 walk animations, but when you run those sequentially, it looks like they're walking. So it's important to have those graphical features, like looking at where the feet are, looking at where the hands are, not necessarily the body. The body's a little bit more lenient. But having the hands and the feet exactly where they are in each of these frames will allow you to animate it a little bit more effectively as you go, and not have like jarring, scary frames where the guy like suddenly jets out. Okay, so aside. I'm going to come back in here. I'm going to take these colors up here as well. I'm going to use my selector. And I'm going to accentuate this. So I'm right now working not on what is visual here. Like I'm not looking at what's here. I'm kind of slapping the color in. So I can use my overlay. And when I have the overlay on there, I'm going to get the cape. Right? The cape is going to show up. So when I have that cape on there, I'm going to be able to identify where the rest of the character can go. And if I've got these colors lined up nicely, then I'm going to be able to make that happen a little quicker with 2 layers like this. Right, so the cape I'm pretty happy with already, and really what I'm looking at is where his paunch is going to come to. Actually, I'm gonna pull it out one further on this side here. I'm gonna give him a little bit of a little something there. Go one further, and the other thing is I can do the flesh tone from up here. Oh, or not. Maybe I can. Maybe I can't. Nope, I'm in the wrong layer. Okay, so I'm going to take this. Be careful with your layers, guys. And there's always Control Z anyway. So I'm going to take this skin out a little bit further, just in general with the darker one first, and then I'm going to highlight where I want. And this is really rough. It doesn't have to be specific because the player's head is going to show up on here anyway. If we're using a different skin tone, or if that same skin tone is used for the head, it won't be a big deal at all. Oh, and I'm on the wrong layer again. This is the only challenge with working the different layers, is that you have to remember what layer you're on when you're working. I'm actually going to erase that 1 pixel right there because I want it to be smooth when I come in for my outline. Okay, so I'm going to take that outline. Doesn't really need to happen on the top again, but I'm going to just for the sake of the visual reference. I feel like I should probably bring that belt out 1 further, and the way I'm going to do that is with the red. Oops. I'm going to erase those 2 and bring that black. Double check my black quickly. If you use all black or all white, so if it's all 0 value or all 255 value, you will wind up with transparency. It will ruin your upload file. So if you're having trouble with your upload file and don't know why, that might be the problem. Okay, so I'm going to try and make this as stiff as possible along here. He definitely has a paunch now, which is not what I was going for. Okay, so I'm going to erase those and pull all these back 1. So this whole thing up till, actually, you know what, let's go all the way over here. I'm going to cut, paste, move it back 1. And I think I'm actually going to cut this one too. That looks a little bit better. Just one pixel difference, and all of a sudden he looks like stocky and not fat now. Okay, so I'm going to come back down here. I'm going to yank out my foot a little bit, kind of try and accentuate it. So I'm going to go copy paste this time. Oh. And what does that mean? Oh, yeah, I'm in the overlay, that's why. Okay, so I'm going to take the foot detail. Copy paste. So I'm going to copy paste, move it one, copy paste, move it one again, and then I'm going to change my selection. Basically, I'm just pulling out these little pixels right here with those first two steps, and then I'm going to do this. And I'm going to pull this one too, like that. After the first copy, you can kind of paste, paste, paste. I am making this foot a little bit larger than it was in the base graphic. Like if I look in the template, it is a couple pixels out, and it's because I want his feet, his shoes to be very prominent. When I looked at my original like sketchy drawing here that I was doing, his foot was super prominent. Like I wanted those boots to really show up. It's a big part of the character, it looked like to me. Not so much in this downward facing frame, but it is, you know, otherwise. I'm just gonna essentially copy this right across. Also, a thing to remember in these frames here, oh, I lost some sheen on his old boot there. Another thing to remember in these frames is that what you're dealing with here is probably going to have an armor or an arm or an animation over it. So there's a good chance that whatever you're drawing here is probably just going to be covered by something anyway. It's not like, you know, the end of the world if it's a little bit scrappy. Okay, I'm going to take it up to overlay. Take the black. Oh, look, it's already got a nice line around there. And then because this is actually darker, I'm going to accept that. Take the whole thing around. Actually, and it goes a little farther over there. I'm happy with that. I am not super happy with these boots. I'm going to head back down to my base layer and make his legs a little bit more prominent. The way I'm going to do that for up here is actually to use the other color, so that if I zoom out, it's going to show that they're two separate objects. You know, at that distance it's a little tough. And probably what I can do, actually, is probably going to be a better choice, is to eliminate this color on this side and make this whole thing all that color, like that. And then I will do the same thing below, so I'm going to take this and make it as boot down here. I'll pull this one out a little bit further. I'm going to eliminate some of I had these double pixels going on here. There's double line stuff going on, where we have two black lines. Also, the other thing is it's a big no-no is the interior black lines. So I'm gonna I have these. This is a dark color already that I'm using here. I'm sampling this color over here, but actually what's happening is I'm in the base layer, but I've got the overlay on top of there. So I'm gonna come up top and erase my overlay interior black lines, and that's looking much better. Okay, so if I zoom out, oh, I should probably, oh, I'm in overlay again. And one more thing is I'm going to take that black and right over there. And I'm going to come down to here. Oh, I've got the overlay to deal with. Did I just do what I think I just did? Oh no. I just used full black. Oh no, I didn't. Cool. Okay. Make double sure. Gotta always watch for that. You can just all of a sudden you could just click once in the wrong layer, and suddenly, yeah, there it is. I was using all black. Rats. Oh no, I'm good. Okay, cool. I'm good. Because all black is actually the same as the transparency in the background. Okay. Let's make sure, because I'm getting confused about my colors again, and I'm going to continue. Okay, so I've got my interesting little cape going on here, which I'm pretty happy with. I like how it turned out. This is bad. Not what I want to do, so I'm going to use some of the dark on the interior lines, like I just showed you and then did not do. I'm also going to accentuate it up here. And the other thing I need to do is pull out the colors for these little snippy snaps over here. Little snippy snaps. Oops. And I'm in the overlay. It's almost time for me to drop the overlay thing. In these panels, I'm kind of done with it at this point. Or in these frames, rather, I'm kind of done with it. Like, I don't really need it at the situation where I'm in. Oh, right, overlay. Huh. Because what's happening is it's actually causing me more harm than good at this point, but it is somewhat valuable. Like, the way that it's working for me is in allowing me to realize where I've gone the wrong colors. It's letting me kind of manage where things are and the layer that was there. Back up to overlay, put it on the cape. I got these little ringy things. Put one more. I'm gonna flip it vertically. I'll bring it down here and crop it a little bit and cut off some of the extra. Get the old eraser out. Yeah, so when you're working with the multiple layers like that, the thing that it allows you to do is segregate your art. So basically, if I want to just edit the, if I only want to edit the cape, I can at this point, because I can still take it out. Oh, there's buttons that are down below there. But it lets me kind of keep the two things separate if I want to edit one and not the other. Right, so now I want to come in, I'm going to edit this color on here. I'm going to make it have a little dark blue color. But if I didn't have that, the layer difference on there, I wouldn't be able to do it the same way. I mean, it's kind of a personal preference if you like it, if you don't. I'm pretty happy with that, the way it's starting to look here. The boot is probably the only thing that I could improve. And there's a couple little pixels up at the top here that need to go. Bust out my eraser. Go to the base. There we go. Yeah, so the other thing is, I mean, as you go along, you're going to want to get more and more and more refined until you have one individual image, right? And this is not the image as it's going to be. It's not the end result. It's not what's going to be, you know, the last picture here. Oh, I'm in the base again. But what will wind up happening is I'll probably wind up working from this for the other frames as well. So that's kind of why I started at this level, right? When I did the first frame, it's really, really, really important in my process anyways, to start with that first frame. I get a feeling of like what I want. And then from there, as I go along, I'm going to edit like mercilessly. I'm going to come through and change so much stuff as I go, right? So when I look at it from the point of view of, okay, that first frame, it's like, you know, coming in and saying, okay, so what am I putting on the drawing board? What paint am I selecting? What's the color this masterpiece will be? Haha. But as you go along, you get more and more into the art. You see kind of what the character of the graphic is that you're doing, and you can kind of go back to that same first frame like 100 times with, you know, a better idea or a new idea or something that you want to try and didn't have the opportunity to in the first go because it wasn't even thought of yet. There's a bunch of stuff that happens over the course of one of these. Okay, so I'm going to pronounce that foot and erase some of this up here. I'm going to make it soft also, so I'm going to take out the overlay. And I think that's looking pretty good. I'm not happy with the contrast on this, so I am going to bring this color down. Oops. I want more contrast between the front boot and the back boot, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to use the pant leg color. And I'm going to give it a little bit of a shine on the back or on the front boot. But if I go too far, it's going to be bad. I mean, I could probably get away with this also. now I'm breaking all my rules that I just explained. I'm like, okay, guys, don't use the interior color. Don't use the dark color on the interior. Don't use this. Don't use that. Oh, but now I'm doing that. Okay, let's see how that looks. Oh, and I'm in the underlay. And now I'm splitting hairs. I'm officially splitting hairs. I think this is about as good as I'm going to get it. Actually, the next thing I'm going to do is remove some of this over here because this is making it look a little weird. I'm also going to shrink up the cape. I just decided I'm going to pull the cape in a little bit, just like 2 pixels. So there's one. And I'm tempted to leave it like that. It actually looks pretty cool, but I'm going to go one further. It's better to go all in and then pull it back if you have to. Yeah, that's good. Okay, so I'm going to pull these graphics in. I'm going to take this. Yeah, so these ones I'm going to come in all that way. I'm going to remove some of this. I'm going to leave 1 pixel right here to round this edge a little bit to make it obvious that this is still boot. I do have this, and I'm tempted to erase that, but it's going to look like junk if I do. I think that's about it. I think that's my side view. I'm happy with that. I'm going to probably merge it down. Oh, I got one wrong pixel. Did you guys spot the 1 single pixel that was off? Give you 3 seconds. 3, 2, 1. Yeah, so right here I got this bright color pixel. It's just so wrong. And I'm going to go the other way. I'm not going to just eliminate it. I'm going to give it some friends so it doesn't look so out of the ordinary. So it looks intentional. That stray pixel's supposed to be there, guys. Okay. So that's it. That's what I'm looking at today. I've got the front back view. I'm going to take this side view. Basically, the next step is going to be to merge my overlay down. Merge down. And then I'm going to take this guy over to the other side. And the problem with this is going to be obviously, well, first thing I have to line this up, right? So it becomes a little bit tricky. I think that's about it right there. Looks good to me. I'm kind of landmarking off the little point with the belt, and that looks good to me. And then the next thing is I'm going to have to erase these up the side here, because we don't have the chain on the other side. It doesn't exist on this side of the cape. Okay, so that's it for today. I'm just doing that 1 frame. Pretty happy with it. I like the direction this whole thing is going. I'm super stoked that this, which it's not terrible to me, but it's something where this is so much more refined. I really still want to get this attitude in the final graphic, but I like a lot of things about the downward facing frame that I've done that are just completely like this image down here, the below one that I did previously is very flat. And this guy's got a little bit more depth and a little bit more character to him. So I'm pretty happy with it. I hope that you guys are too. You got any comments, got any questions, leave them down below. Thank you all for watching. Sorry it's been a while. I'll try and be a little bit more regular with my posts. Yeah. See you guys next time.